I think everyone goes through things. It's not a matter of if, but when. We all have a story. It's beautiful and painful, but when I look at what I've been given, I don't understand why more people aren't out here. It's perfect. So growing up, I loved everything my dad loved. So if that meant learning hunting and learning the whole thing about it, I was so willing to do it because that meant I was with him. I mean, I must have been about 5 or 6. I remember asking if I could go. He would laugh and tell me, not yet. After a few years of begging, he finally let me tag along with him on hunts. We went shed hunting. I was walking down with him, and I remember finding it, and I was like, oh my gosh, Dad, I found a shed. I was so excited. I bragged about that forever. And he actually broke the news to me like 5 years later that he had already found it prior to and just waited for me to find it. And actually, that wasn't the only shed he did that with. It was a lot. But you could just see the light in his eye when he would talk about hunting or have a hunting story, or like the joy it brought him in general. He was just so excited to be out there. He gave me his 30-30 that his father gave him when I was 10. And I just started to follow into the tradition then. I shot my first animal, which was a bear, 2 months after I had turned 10. And that was kind of when my whole hunting obsession began. And he told me God made me for this. And I was hooked. I loved everything about the animals, the hunt, the challenge of it all. My dad used to keep his own hunting journal, and early on he gave me one to write down every success of my hunts, and I've kept it every year since.
We could write an endless story through the struggle and the glory. By your side, I will stay. We will never fade away.
At my school, everyone thought it was weird that I was so into hunting, but I didn't really care. I was with my dad. I loved it, and everything was right to me. Until it wasn't. Dad's sickness might have come a little quickly to people that weren't around him a lot, but to us and my close family, it was kind of a slow, hard process to watch. It came to a shock for me at my senior soccer game. All the parents were there. I remember I was with some of the girls on my team, and my dad got out of the car. People started asking what was wrong. He lost a lot of color and looked really sick. He was really sick. He checked into the hospital that night. And 3 weeks later, I said goodbye to my best friend. I had kind of struggled last year. I went with my grandfather a few times because Dad actually passed right at the beginning of hunting season. So obviously we were dealing with a lot of afterlife things that took up our time. So we weren't able as a family to go to hunting camp or to go out and do anything like that. I didn't go much that year. My dad was funny to a lot of people. He would say, my sarcasm's gonna go 2 ways. Either people are gonna think I'm funny or they're gonna think I'm serious, which I'm really serious, but I'm just trying to get it across so they don't hate me. He was a really likable guy, but he didn't even see that. I remember before he passed, he would tell me that he didn't want to have a service because it was a waste of time. But the day of his funeral, we had over 500 people come. The community and the people thought a lot of him. I mean, just with working in his business, everyone's like, oh, Travis, there wasn't a bad word spoken about him because he brought happiness to so many other people. I actually had just won a softball game, and I got the text from a friend that I got a moose permit. And I didn't even really plan on going out hunting a lot just because it left a sour taste in my mouth because it was something I did with Dad. So that was a challenge for me to actually go outside without him. And my stepdad told me, don't you think it's meant to be? Don't think you'd get this permit if you weren't meant to go out there and shoot a moose. And I kind of thought, you know what, maybe Dad is doing this because he knows I need that extra push to get back outside because he knows I'd want that and he wanted that. There are times I'd look over and I swear he was right there. I know he's there. Nature was his happy place. And now it's our happy place.
We could ride